Unless you have been living under a rock for the past few weeks, you would have realised that Donald Trump is the new president of the United States. This is not a political channel. I'm not going to get too involved with the political side because, quite frankly, I don't know enough, nor do I care to get involved about this. I will say that, obviously, myself being English, I had no influence. I wasn't able to vote in the election, of course, but if I was, I would have gone for Donald Trump. And that's about all I want to say on the matter. But why have young men decided to follow suit? Why have young men decided to vote for Donald Trump? And why did he win by quite a landslide in the end? And I think the first place we have to start is because Trump is a masculine man. He is a leader. He has economic power. He has power in wars. No one can doubt his ability to become a superior leader to what we have seen in the past. And I think now more than ever, people are looking for that. People are looking for the stronger masculine figures because we've not seen it for so long. And I know myself, and a lot of people I speak to, not just going off social media, are sick and tired of the woke bullshit we see, the propaganda, the lies from mainstream media. Even our parents, our people older than us are starting to pick up on this and be like, yeah, you know what? I don't believe everything they're saying. They just keep lying to us over and over again, and you just become sick and tired. And you see the channels, they're all way down. The views they're getting, they're way down compared to like 5-10 years ago, because people are waking up. Like me and myself, I will just refuse to watch the news because I know everything in life, everything is an agenda, and unfortunately they don't have your best interests at heart, and we know this already, so I'm not going to get too much detail into this. But we have to look at social media and its influence on the election, because it has clearly had a massive swing. And I saw Trump went on Joe Rogan's podcast about a week or so before the election. I think it got around 65 million views within 3 or 4 days, something absolutely crazy. And this could have been a deciding factor whether or not Trump won the election. We will never know, but there's reason to suggest it could have been the case. And why has social media become such a big platform for even stuff like politics? It's not in the news. It's not just a guy or a woman stood up on a platform reading a script. It's because that's happened for so long and it's not worked, and people become sick and tired of it. And we are sick and tired of seeing the same politicians. It's very similar to how we see it in the UK, where we had a general election in the summer. We saw the Labour Party win. Again, not a big fan of them at all. I didn't vote for them. I don't think they're doing very well for the country now. It's probably heading in a worse direction. And I think, if Trump was in the United Kingdom, he probably would have been elected here. I think, or I don't know if elected. Yeah, he would have been elected here too. And I think, a lot of people look at him and they're like, you know what? He actually offers me a bit of hope, especially as a young person and a young man in particular. I'm sick of kind of seeing these politicians come and they're just not really offering anything for young people. Like, you can say, younger people have it easier than ever. Maybe that's the case in some ways, but when it comes to getting financial stability, getting onto the property ladder, getting work, relationships, things are definitely not easier than they've ever been. And again, am I saying Trump's going to solve this? No. Am I saying is he the best politician? No, because I don't know. No one knows, and it's up for debate. And again, like I say, I'm not really too interested in that side of things. Is he a narcissist? Is he serious? Is he the best politician? Like I say, that's up for debate. And why does this not matter to young people in general? It's because they've been left with no hope from past politicians, been left with like that feeling of not knowing where to go, or what direction to go in, and whether this is going to be the best or not. There is a direction with Trump, and you see a leader inside of him. And I think, like I say, we need leaders more than ever. We need people who aren't afraid of what people think, and they have a plan and they will execute on it. And again, people might think this is right, might think this is wrong, but a lot of, like I say, young people are looking at this, and young men in particular, who are left with little and no hope, feeling purposeless. We know suicide is on the rise. It's the biggest killer for men under 40. 1 in 3 men have suicidal thoughts. 75% of suicides are men. And we know, like I say, young men are really, really struggling, and people are looking. We've seen the rise of Andrew Tate over the last 2 to 3 years. Why has Tate had such a rise? Why have many other male influencers had such a rise? Why did I look to this content and start this channel? Because we felt lost. We've had no direction. We've not been happy. We've not been fulfilled with our lives. We're living very timid lives like we shouldn't be living, working jobs that are not fulfilling for us, not being able to provide like we should be able to. And men are becoming sick and tired of this. And it's about time, I feel like there definitely is a movement with young men, and people actually starting to take men's kind of values and taking them seriously after being neglected for so long. And again, it's not a video hating on the other side, hating up women or anything, because obviously women have come a long way over the last 10 years, 20 years or so. It's come a long way, and that's good. Let's not try and knock the other side down or even look at it as other sides. But men have just been left in the background, left with nothing, left treated like dirt, and no one really has seemed to look at this, especially politicians. And like I say, people have looked at Trump, and he offers a bit of hope for some people. And I think people just need that more than ever. And he's a character. He charms the media. He's got humor. He's likable. Like I look at him, I listen to him, and I like the guy. I think it's quite hard not to like that. And being that person in politics is more important than ever. Like I say, it's not just that man stood at the podium reading off a script and he gets elected. It's not how it used to be whatsoever. And that's very important. Like I say, with social media, with a lot of people getting their news from the likes of Twitter, from TikTok, from Instagram. Again, am I saying that's the right way to go about it? Probably not. Are there some good, real news outlets out there? Yeah, of course there is. But, it's like finding gold in shit, really. It's very hard to do nowadays. It's very hard to know who to trust, what to trust. People are very cynical in general. So I understand why people are doing this. And people like Trump are very clever about this. They use social media as a tool, as I've told you to use it as a tool, because it has a lot of negatives that for me outweigh the positives. I don't really use on social media a lot. I don't really have anything on my phone for social media. Only if I try and post something on Instagram. But other than that, I just don't want anything to do with it. But if you can use it positively, like Trump, he's a very clever guy at the end of the day. Whether you like him, whether you're not, he's clever, and it's hard not to respect him. And I think overall is a positive, especially from a young person's perspective, a young man in this world. I think we need people like this to stand up who will help us in wars, in economic uncertainty. I think he's a better person to go for, and whether you think that or not, that's up to you, and I'm not really too bothered about what you think about that. But it's going to have effect on the UK, it's going to have effect on the rest of the world, so it's an important thing, and I think it's a very big decision that was made a couple of weeks ago, and I think it will have ripple effects across the world over the next 4-8 years and going forward. And yeah, like I say, we'll be very interested to see what happens. I think the US needed it, and I think the world probably needed something like this to happen. What do you think? You can leave a comment below. And yeah, if you're from the US, I'd be interested to hear if you voted for Trump, or if not, and why that was the case. If you need any more guidance, if you are again struggling with your mental health, if you're struggling with anything, struggling to kind of find your way in life, then I'm more than happy to help you. My one-to-one personal coaching link will be in the description. You can like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.